Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the ThePCelitist. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepard.
And today we are doing a discussion, kind of a fun discussion, on, well, how'd you phrase it?
Here's how it is.
This is what it is.
This is what it is. Give me a few moments. This is what it is. There are some games, for me, right now there's only one. It's a game in which doesn't matter day or night, I'm feeling sad, feeling happy, no matter, where I could play this game at any time. There's never a time when I could not be in the mood to play this game. That game currently is FIFA 13 on my PC. And there are some days I get home from work, I actually don't feel like playing video games that much. Dare I say it. But I could easily just say, if you told me you're locked in this room, all you have is FIFA today, that's the only thing you can do, I would not be sad.
Right.
If I only have 15 minutes to play before I leave, I'll play a half on FIFA.
Right.
So for me...
So anyone taking notes of how to imprison Shepard.
Yes.
Take a way to keep him docile.
Yes. And there have been games in the past, back when I was a PlayStation gamer, it used to be Madden.
Right.
There was a time when StarCraft 2, I felt this way. So it's changed over time. It usually hasn't been more than one or two games at a time. Plants vs. Zombies for a little while. Certainly.
That was a good... I'm kind of stressed out today. I don't really want to think that much.
I think the music really helped for the stressful times.
You couldn't be sad while playing.
True. And the only other game where there's never a time where I'm not in the mood to play it is Left 4 Dead, either the first one or Left 4 Dead 2. That experience of massacring zombies never gets old to me, and I could pick it up and play it at any time.
What about Zombie Driver?
Yes, certainly.
So seems to be a pattern to games, like, even though FIFA breaks that pattern. Never mind.
It certainly does. And as much as I absolutely adore PlanetSide 2, love it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. There are times where I'm just not really in the mood to play it. And I think part of it is because it's a time investment. I don't feel comfortable playing that game for only 20 or 30 minutes. I want to play it for 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I want to play it with all of you guys. So I put it to you, sir. Are there any games where there is never a time that you can't play it?
I answer it like this. There's not a game a go-to game that no matter what mood I'm in, I could play that game.
Well, discussion's over. See you, folks. Have a nice day.
I will always be willing to play a game. You know, my girlfriend it gets the advantage of the fact where she's just like, well, I'm going to go have lunch with somebody. Okay. I'm going to play video games.
You're going to be all right?
Yeah, I'll be fine. But I think for me is that I'm kind of a game hopper. I don't stick with one game. I usually have like a repertoire.
And I am too.
Right.
Yeah. But go on.
Usually have a repertoire of that's why at any one game sometimes people ask us certain things about a game really in depth, and I have to say I have a pretty good general knowledge of video games, and I have a lot of thoughts on philosophies of how games should be made or could improve immersion and what have you. But in one particular game, I don't put my heart and soul into a game. You know, I jump around. You know, I think the one I invest maybe my most strategic brain to is probably StarCraft. But even PlanetSide, I just want to shoot guys, in a big war. So I jump around. That's my thing, is that I don't have one game. I am always willing to play video games, but I'll go all over the place.
Yeah, there are certainly times, and this is, and you've been my main soundboard for this, where I'll tell you, so many games, so little time. Especially right now. I'm preparing to get married later this fall, and my free time is just not nearly what it used to be, or what it will be after the wedding.
Right.
And so I say to you, I have maybe 4 hours on a particular weekend that I want to devote, and I just say, oh, do I want to... There are 5 different games. I can't decide what I want to play. If I end up not deciding, usually I'll go to one of my go-tos, usually FIFA. And so it's always there. I'm so happy that I know that if all else fails and I overthink it and I can't decide what to play, I have that.
Right.
But me too. I remember back to the days when I only had 1 or 2 games. Whether that was I was just a child and couldn't buy them, and my parents would buy them for me, or the
Right.
computer wasn't good enough and I couldn't play the games because I didn't meet the minimum requirements. Those days were awesome when you had to appreciate everything you had.
I was gonna say those days were awful.
Now we're
but-
spoiled. You and I have super rigs, as do most of you, because you're PC elitists like us.
Right.
And you can play any game, you just don't know what.
Right.
And so we talked for about only 20 seconds on this topic before we did this, and you said something very interesting. And you said you pretty much are always in the mood to play a video game, but there are some times when you're down here, you have your day off, and you just want to watch Star Trek. And I think that's true with all entertainment. I think it's perfectly valid to answer this question by saying, no, I don't have a game that I could play at any time. But I think that there are people like myself in music, in movies, in TV shows. I have an example in each of those, at least one, of something I could do or say or watch or whatever at any given time. For me, TV shows, Firefly.
Right.
Movies, Serenity, Braveheart, Patton, Godfather. I mean, we all have those. And so I think that video games...
It's the old Lost on a Desert Island. You only
Exactly.
have like a certain form of
But no one ever says you're lost on a desert island with your gaming PC
Yeah.
and kick-ass internet access. What do you bring? So I think we need to move that icebreaker into the vernacular.
So should we just do that for this video? Should we just say, okay, like, because there's the 5 movies. Okay, what 5 movies do you bring to a desert island? Okay, what 5
This
games?
is our way, because I've been at staff retreats where they actually, and these are people I've worked with for a few years, so I already know them.
Yeah.
But as an icebreaker, they'll have some lame question like this. I think that starting right now, you've made a great point. We're going to start a movement to go around, and if you're with people who don't even play video games, then you say, we're changing that right now.
Right.
So what we're doing is putting it to the community and to each other. I don't think I can answer this right now. I have a couple in mind, but I'm going to keep our audience in suspense. I want to hear their ideas first.
Okay. We'll answer it on the next video.
Exactly. Desert island that has internet and electricity
Desert
and
Island
some
video.
shade. It's a pretty cool island.
It explicitly.
It's not the island in Miasmata.
No.
That's for sure.
You would not stand still in that
game. If you want
game.
to see a review of that game, go to TrueToPCGaming.com, as well as other content that we produce exclusively for them.
Right.
What 5 games would you bring? Not 6, not 7, 5.
By the way, the question works if you say, to someone, what 5 games would you bring to a desert island? And they say, I don't play video games. That tells you a lot about that person.
That tells you that they would likely be dinner on the desert island. Why keep them around?
I expect that anyone, when the zombie apocalypse happens, and it will,
Yeah, not if, but when.
that the survivors will be video game players. For the
agree.
most part.
They will
They will be very good at...
They'll be veterans of survival games, particularly Left 4 Dead, DayZ.
Right.
Not really War Z so much.
Yes. And a lot of people, when they say, when we talk about gaming, and they say, well, Facebook games don't count.
They don't.
And in that situation, they definitely don't. You did not learn any survival tactics.
Dude, I'm great at Farmville. I think I'd survive. No, you wouldn't. You'd be dead.
My goose laid a golden egg. It's for you. Is that how that game works? It look like gifts?
I think so.
Okay. I'm proud of my ignorance. When someone mentions something, like it happened in the movie The Notebook. Remember that? And you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And you're proud in that moment that you have not seen The Notebook. Have you seen The Notebook?
I have.
Okay. Well, there's something else out there for you that you could be proud about, but not that one.
It's a beautiful movie. Let's end it now.
Okay. Put your list out there. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepard. This is the PC Elitist signing out. Also, before I end, and you better still be around, TruePCGaming.com. Go.